looking to remain undefeated. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers pregame show live from the Xfinity studio. Right now, hanging out with my guy Rich for the first time in the regular season. Rich Hoffman, Devon Gibbons-Breeze, the president of basketball operations, all of you in the chat. Great to see you. 4 games this week, and it's the start of a back-to-back for the Philadelphia 76ers, home and away the Orlando Magic tonight, the Washington Wizards tomorrow on the road, and it's a little more difficult tonight without Joel Embiid and Dominick Barlow. Before we get started, want to let everybody know that the show, as always, presented by Crooked Tea. Pick up your Crooked Tea at a store nearest you, and Bet365. We're hot, y'all. We're hot. See if we can keep it going tonight. It's never ordinary at Bet365. We'll get to our picks a little bit later. Talk about Nick Nurse's rotations and the 3-guard lineup. But first, we have to welcome Rich and discuss Joel Embiid, the absence of Embiid and Barlow. What's up, Rich? 2-0.
Yeah, man. Good start to the season. And I was sick the other night, but I got to say, the Sixers made me feel a little bit better.
Good.
I've been enjoying the season. I did the last preseason game with you, but heading into the first couple games, I mean, there's just a lot to like about this team, I would say. I mean, first off, VJ is just a revelation. I mean, I can't believe this is a smaller thing, Devon. The athleticism just jumps off the screen.
Sure.
Clearly, the interviews, he's very mature. He's not afraid of the moment, all of those things. I can't believe what a savvy passer he is already. Like, he just makes all the nice hit-ahead passes, the swings, all of those things. It's just nice. Like, you can just fit him in even when his shot is not falling, as it was not as much the other night. He's really good. I thought that the other night, the win was awesome just because, like, they're not a very good defensive team right now, but they just kept playing. Like, they just ran through the tape for 48 minutes. Didn't matter that they were down 10 in the fourth quarter. It helped a little bit. The drum came in fresh with the unorthodox center rotation that they have going. We'll talk a little bit about Joel in a second here. But they just kept going, and I appreciate that. One other thing I will say in the early going that's something to look at, I like the offensive structure that I'm seeing. And last year, that was not the case. And I kind of wonder if Nick Nurse headed into last year and was like, well, we're probably going to have Joel at some point. He was going to win MVP the year before with this offense that we basically just let him do whatever he wants. You know, we're going to run the offense through him, have him bring the ball up sometimes, DHOs, all of those things. And then he kind of got caught off guard when Joel was not available for most of the year. He was not nearly as effective for most of the year. They clearly came in with more of a plan so far this season. And it just feels like they have a lot of things. They have a basic structure that they're sticking to. It's sort of a 2-3 structure, but they get to a bunch of different things, whether it's guard screening, Joel screening, some off-ball movement, stuff like that. So that's something I'm excited to keep tracking moving forward. But I've been encouraged by that in the early going. And like, look, I said this already. I know the defense, it kind of stinks. I see the warts with this team. Look, they're a little small. They're unathletic at some spots as well. They need Paul George back for the defense more than anything, man. I think he will really help on that end. And the way they're going about it is goofy right now, with Joel only playing 20 minutes, and then you kind of got to figure it out with Barlow at center in Boston, and then Drummond just coming out of nowhere to play. Man, I don't think he played a game as good as that all last season.
He did not.
Yeah. So it's been a little unorthodox, but they've been a lot of fun to watch. We'll see what happens tonight. They are very shorthanded. Mentioned that Joel is out. Barlow being out also hurts them as well. But a fun watch to the fun start to the Sixers season. Excited to see what they can cook up shorthanded tonight.
Well, that's where we do have to start tonight, though, with Rich, is the fact that Joel Embiid and Dominick Barlow, 2 of your 5 starters, out of the game tonight. And those are your front court guys, your rebounders, if you will, for this basketball team. We don't yet know what the lineup is going to look like. We'll give it to you later when we find out. Plus, we'll give our predictions here of what we think Nick Nurse should do, and maybe we already have an idea of what we think he might do in this particular matchup against the Orlando Magic. But with that being said, that's a big front court from Carter, Banchero, Franz Wagner. We'll talk about that. How important is it, though, with Embiid and Barlow out front end of the back-to-back? How important is it to have those two out of the lineup tonight against this big front court of the Orlando Magic?
Big, and they they can't really shoot is the issue. The Magic, they brought Desmond Bane in the offseason to help their 3-point shooting, which was almost like historically bad last season. Well, Devon, it's early on. They're only 3 games in, but they are the worst 3-point shooting team in the league still. So it'll be interesting to see, may the Sixers get away with this just because of the Magic's general lack of skill, or will the Magic just be able to physically overwhelm them? I could see probably either thing playing out for different stretches of the game. I think Drummond is going to be huge after his crazy rebounding game the other night. I think Jabari Walker, just because, man, he's pretty much the only 4 they got on the roster. I know he has not shot it very well. He's going to be pretty huge as well. Barlow being out is a big deal. I mean, I love his offensive rebounding. That's, I mentioned the things that I've enjoyed in the early going. Just watching him crash from the corner on offensive rebounds, it's great.
And even if he doesn't get the one himself, secure it, he taps it out, or just at least breaks it loose for someone else to come in there and pick it up.
There are even times, too, where he goes for that offensive rebound. The guy gets it, but he puts such a good contest on it that, like, the guy can't just grab it and go and get an easy bucket on the Sixers. He's a good player, man. I've enjoyed watching him. Now, they're going with it a little bit unconventionally with him and Walker, because I do think, and Kyle pointed this out in his observations the other night and watching the games, look, it's a small sample size. Maybe they start shooting it a little bit better. But I do think other teams will be able to leave them open and sort of dare them where, especially when you got guys like Grimes and Maxey shooting the absolute eyes out of the basketball right now. I think you'd clearly want to get the ball out of their hands and let somebody like those guys shoot. So we'll see what they do against the bigger lineup. But I've enjoyed the Dominick Barlow experience. It's a bummer that he has the laceration. Nick Nurse said in pregame that he is going to miss at least the next 2 games with this procedure. Now, hopefully they can get him back pretty shortly after. They have a couple days off.
That's crazy. Laceration, you need a procedure on it?
Yeah, I don't really understand. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand medically, but that's
an odd one. Yeah.
Must be nasty, huh?
It must be a bad laceration cut that Barlow sustained. I don't remember when he did it. And I haven't seen any video where people are pointing out this is where it happened. I don't know, but that's a bad one. So how do you expect them to go about things tonight?
People pointing out that Broom could play at power forward. I guess, he hasn't been part of the rotation yet so far.
Size-wise, between he and Boner, you're going to need some size.
They're running out of bodies.
Good point, everybody, because I didn't even think – he hasn't played.
Yeah.
He's sitting there on the bench, but I haven't paid much attention to Janai Broom. Good point. Maybe he does get a little bit of run tonight. I mean, you got to try everything tonight. You got to help on the glass.
We also don't know if he's a 4. We don't know if he's a 5 either.
We don't really know. He's a front court player, and that's all we know.
We'll see. We'll see if he sticks at either of those positions. But they're running
especially with the way that Boner gets into foul trouble. And if between he and Drummond, and then you talk about Walker being the only other, Broom's probably going to have to be dusted off tonight.
Yeah, unless they play Kelly at stretches at the 4 and they go super small, but that's going to be hard. That's going to be hard against an Orlando team. But we'll see. So, look, I think as far as Joel is concerned, this makes sense to me, because when I saw that he was out last night, I was like, oh, no, they already starting it? And then I was like, oh, they're playing it back-to-back over 100%. These next 2 games. So it's pretty clear that they decided, all right, we're going to give him 2 days off on one side of this back-to-back, and then we're going to play him 1 game. And then we're going to give him 2 more days off, because the next time the Sixers play after tomorrow night is Friday at home against Boston. I don't really have much of an issue with that. Maybe there's an argument for you just play him at home. There's no travel. But I would also say, too, if you're in the process of trying to secure the most wins, maybe take the easiest win possible. The Washington Wizards, that feels like a safer bet than the Orlando Magic, where I think if you're sort of trying to game the regular season out, you look at this back-to-back and you say, well, why don't we play small and shoot a bunch of threes against Orlando? Who knows? Maybe we sneak up on them, increase the variance a little bit. But then we got the big fella against Washington. Maybe he can sort of assert his dominance. I thought he was much better on offense, at least the other night. You pointed that out with Roy. Defense, not quite as much. That seems to be a work in progress. But it makes sense to me. The way they have handled him, it makes sense too. Like it's a little bit of a bummer that he can't play in the fourth quarter of these games. But I don't know, man. I feel like we're so scarred. We've been through so much stuff. The idea that he says, no, I just want to play my normal minutes, and because that's how I'll get into better shape, get in a better rhythm. I get that. I understand that. Is it unorthodox that he's like leaving midway through the third quarter? Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
100%.
He played 3 minutes and some change in the third quarter, and we didn't see him again.
I mean, think about what the big rotation, the center rotation was the other night, man. It was so Embiid and Bona in the first half.
Yep.
Embiid for 5 minutes in the third quarter. Bona for 3 minutes in the third quarter. And then Drum, after sitting the first 2/3 of the game, hey, big boy, you take the rest of this the whole way.
Game.
And you know what? It kind of worked.
It worked out.
Drum had a lot of energy.
Yes, he did.
You know, and that was a fast-paced game, and the Hornets are, you know, they're a young team, but I feel like some of their guys probably got a little bit fatigued down the stretch, and Drum was like, well, look, I didn't play the first half, so
that's what I'll take these boards. Thank you.
He was in a good mood. So, yeah, I mean, I think the big worry tonight is just their size, their physicality, their rebounding. Will the Sixers be able to manufacture enough defensive rebounds, enough stops? We'll see. I'm a little skeptical, but we'll see.
Quick pop quiz. Who leads the team in rebounding through 2 games right now?
Oh, good question.
Average rebound, not total, average.
Is it?
Yes. I stumped him, everybody.
You did stump me. It's not Drum, is it?
It is not. Well, he's only played 1 game.
He's only played 1 game.
He's only played one game.
Who has the most?
Is actually, well, Drummond technically played 2 games, but we know in the first game he really, so.
Is it VJ?
Through 2 games, Drummond has rebounded 7 on average through the 2 games. VJ Edgecombe, 6.5.
Well, man, he goes after it.
6.5. Yes. Next up, Dominick Barlow at 6. He leads the team in offensive rebounds at 3 per game.
He's definitely a better offensive rebounder than a defensive
Yes,
rebounder, and that's okay. There's a lot of guys who are like that. I mean, Andre Drummond is like that as well.
Yep.
Look, it's hard. That's one of this team's biggest weaknesses. They tried to address it in terms of like the two-way market, but they sort of said with VJ Edgecombe and with some of our other moves, we're going to work on our speed.
Yep.
It was a slow and small team last offseason. With what Daryl Morey had available to him, he said, all right, I'm going to work on the speed first. We'll figure out the size a little bit later. Hopefully Joel can figure out a few things. So, yeah, that's where they're at right now. And it's okay. It's like the fact that they're imperfect and they have a few warts, it's okay. Like the idea that they're just going to continue to play fast and have these guys continue to play, like they might be able to steal some games like the other night because they'll continue to play hard the entire game. Yeah, they might give up some penetration and it might be a little bit of a layup line going to the basket for stretches. But you just got to keep going. And especially with Maxey leading the way, with VJ already playing real hard. I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks, everybody in the chat, for checking in on that pop quiz question to Rich and all of you. SB Cole Mello, my man, says Drum. Igavini, Jack Reacher says VJ. Igavini says, is it actually VJ? And SB Cole also throwing in Barlow, VJ Barlow. Everybody, that's where we are right now with the rebounding for the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid, 4. Total 4 on average for rebounding to start the season off. That will get better, everybody. Don't worry, that'll get better. All right, first break. We come back. We'll talk about the 3-guard lineup. We'll give you the starters because we presume that they will be out right by the time we get back. And also, we'll get into what the rotations need to look like tonight as far as what we think Nick Nurse should do. Bet365 picks a little bit later. We take our first break. It's the pregame show. Sixers 2-0. Can they stay undefeated against the Orlando Magic? 1-2 Magic. A little disappointing to start for them. But can the Sixers stay perfect against the Magic, front end and the back-to-back? Rich, Devon, Bree, all of you will come right back. We'll get to it all here on the Sixers pregame show presented by, well, we're going to tell you about those two coming up right here on the pregame show right here presented by those two. Got to tell you about Bet365. Me and Bree have been perfect so far. We have gotten everyone right, and hopefully you've tailed those whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. New users, you can jump right in and get involved at the moment. Everybody, new customers sign up and get $300 in bonus bets. That's up from $200 to $300. You heard me right. In bonus bets, when you bet $5, win or lose, all you have to do is place a bet at $10. Deposit $10, place a bet for $5, sign up to get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose when you sign up using the code PHLY365. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And we have things that you need to know about tonight. Monday Night Football, you get a 50% super profit boost token on same game parlays, and you have 11, count them, 11 NBA games tonight that you can dive on into. So go ahead, jump on in on those, everybody. Join in, sign up at PHLY Bet365 right now. PHLY 365 must be 21 plus and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And guys, everybody's got their favorite hard tea, but have you ever turned the can to read what's in it? You can't, because they don't tell you, and while they hide what's inside, Crooked Tea, they brag about it. Crooked Tea brews real USDA organic tea for real flavor with real sugar. No fake junk hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. So next time you're at the store, flip the can. And if you can't find the ingredients, just put it back. Then grab a Crooked Tea, 0 sugar, real tea, and fully transparent. You know it, Philly. Real recognizes real, so why drink the fake stuff? Crooked Tea, the only thing better is a strip sack in a Super Bowl. Visit crookedtea.com to find a store near you.
Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers pregame show presented by Crooked Tea and Bet365.
Those two.
Yes, those two. All right, let's just, we have the starting lineup, but we need to talk about the 3-guard rotation and what they have going, because I honestly thought, Rich, that maybe Nick Nurse, even though they lack in size, maybe they'll decide, let's just get out and run. And let's get after it. We saw what the guards do. But I also understand, simply because of the fact that you also like what Quentin Grimes brings off the bench for what he's been able to do in the 2 games played. But the 3-guard lineup, what have you been able to take away from the first 2 games and what they've been able to do? Tyrese Maxey averaging right now 34 points. VJ Edgecombe, 24.5. Quentin Grimes, 3rd on the team in scoring at 17 points per game, and he had the big game and the big shot, 3-pointer, to give them the go-ahead lead in game 2. Late in that game with 15 seconds to play, and they ultimately close that one out and walk away with the win. But you're getting 34, 24, and 17 on average from your 3-guard lineup. That's pretty damn impressive.
Awesome job by Maxey on that final play, by the way. Gets the switch on Concanipple.
Yep.
Trey Mann plays in the gap at the nail. Just a quick little bounce pass to Grimes.
And he recognized it couldn't be a pass in the air. He bounced past that one perfectly.
Beautiful bounce pass. Yep. Quentin Grimes, his form is unbelievable on
and he
that
gets
three-pointer.
So much lift on his jump.
It's beautiful, man. It's picture perfect. I love it. I will say one little criticism of Quentin Grimes. What are you doing with that gun celebration, man? Bro, you're going to get fined for that.
Well, he's doing the 3 fingers. So they've gotten away with that one. You know, Kale does it, and he's done.
That's not what he's doing.
I thought he had the 3, but he was, doing. But
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
hear you.
I think it's different from what Kale does.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's borderline.
I don't know, man. It feels like he's in like a Quentin Tarantino movie. It breaks out after every single 3-pointer. I'm just saying, man. You only took the qualifying offer. Adam Silver might take some of that qualifying offer. Anyway, the 3 guards
should have taken that extra $100,000 that they offered to you. I don't know.
What, for fine insurance? Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, he's been a good soldier. I was a little worried about what the dynamic would be like early on. Feels like that has not affected him. Good soldier with the gun talk after that too. Yeah. Anyway, so the 3-guard lineup, I've been encouraged by all of those guys. It's early, like very small sample size, but they're outscoring their opponents in like 80 possessions so far. It's been sort of how the team has gone. All offense, very little defense, but the offense has been awesome. I like how those guys play together. I feel like Maxey a couple of times has hit VJ on backdoor cuts on the back end, like VJ bringing the ball up. I talked about that offensive structure. One of the reasons they are doing that is because they clearly have a package of plays with Maxey off the ball within that structure. That's been good. I think Grimes fits with both of them. It's a little... I'm like a little skeptical of the minutes when it's just Grimes, maybe, and VJ. Like you can kind of feel that, all right, like they're going to need one of these guys to get hot from the perimeter. They might not be able to create the same level of shots that they can with Maxey in the game. It hasn't always played out like that, but it's just a little bit of a feeling that I have. But I think, especially in this game too, you got to roll with those 3 guys, right? They're 3 of your best players. One of the ways that I remember Doc used to do this with the Sixers when they were shorthanded without Joel. He would just go real small, and it's like, look, we're going to shoot a lot of 3s tonight, and if they go in, great. we might be able to steal the game. If not, we'll lose by 30 instead of 15 or whatever it is. So, I've been impressed by those guys. I mean, that is a huge reason why this team has been fun to watch so far this year.
Yeah, they've been really good, man. Tyrese Maxey, 34. He has the most made threes in the NBA right now with the way that he's been shooting the basketball. He's been tremendous. You talk about the 15-point performance from VJ at Edgecombe, but still stuffing the stat sheet.
He's still doing
with
good
the
stuff.
other things. Yep. And look, the 34 was a, whoa, we didn't see this one. The 15 is more like what we expected from VJ Edgecombe. So even though he gave you the 15, it was still a pretty good, pretty good overall shooting night for him for what he did in that game number 2 against the Charlotte Hornets. But to your point, doing the things that he's doing away from the basketball, the constant movement, the passing that you saw out there defensively, while sometimes he still gets caught with a few things. He's a young player, but the energy, the reaching in and the hedging that he does and just disrupting whatever flow the offensive player may have, that's what you want to see from VJ Edgecombe. And as far as the Quentin Grimes part, as I saw Dave P. go off of what you pointed out with the celebration, Reservoir Grimes is after that tough first 3 quarters against Boston, he had 7 points in the final frame to help them come back, where he scored 7 points. And Rich, that just carried right over into that game 2 against Charlotte. So if this is what we're going to see, what we're also going to get is most likely when Paul George comes back and however they decide to go about it going forward with their front court, you might see where Nick Nurse maybe doesn't want to go away from what he has working off the bench with his guards. Jared McCain is already back to shooting. He was in pregame shoot-around earlier today, shooting with the now with the cast with the cast off. But
good to hear
the splint that he, whatever brace that he has right now. Maybe that's where Nick Nurse is just saying, you know what, VJ Edgecombe is much better than we thought, and we're just going to keep the 2 guards coming off the bench to help out in that way. And right now, for those 3 to be leading the team in scoring and be able to put that type of pressure on the defense, not turning the ball over at a high clip. They've had their moments, but not turning the ball over at a high clip as a trio. This is really good. And when you're not getting the consistent production from Joel Embiid, you don't yet have McCain and George back, you don't have Trent and Wofford, you need the scoring to come from somewhere. So to get 60-plus points from those 3 in game number 2, and obviously getting, almost 80 points from the 3 of them in game number 1, that's what you're going to need. And that looks like that's probably going to be their closing lineup with those 3 out there. And to your point, shoot a lot of threes, get out and run in transition, and see where things go from there. This has been exactly what we've talked about. We've talked about it with the 4 of them, but while they have the 3 available, this is exactly what we thought we were getting from the 3 guards.
Yeah, I think the fit concerns come more into play with McCain for 2 reasons. Number 1, that's just another player you have to add, and you have to account for minutes, but also because he's on the smaller end of those guys. Whereas VJ and Grimes, you can plausibly play those guys at the 3. They're both probably a little small for like an ideal fit at that position, but they're both pretty athletic. They're pretty strong. In VJ's case, excellent rebounder as well. So that in these small ball lineups, you can get away with that a little bit. Yeah, no, you're gonna have to play those guys tonight, but you're also gonna need contributions from like Kelly Oubre played great the other night.
Yes, he did quietly. 19, very efficient, and it just went to the wayside because of how well the 3 guards looked, and the big shot, of course, from Grimes and the way that Drummond rebounded. So with that, man,
they got huge contributions from Kelly Oubre and Justin Edwards the other night.
Yes, they did.
Somebody said that Justin Edwards is a regular season merchant, which is funny because it just means in the summer league he struggles, in the preseason he struggles, but being a merchant in the games that actually matter,
that's all you want.
We'll take
man.
it, right?
That's all you want.
Those other games don't
so,
matter.
Bree, let's give the starters right now. Since Rich brought up Kelly Oubre, let's see what Nick Nurse has. He's going with VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey in the backcourt. Front court, you have Kelly Oubre remaining in the starting lineup with Walker, who we thought would most likely get that opportunity if they went with the big front court, and Adem Bona over Andre Drummond. What's your thoughts? Number 1, Kelly Oubre. Is that more because of the length and the size in the front court? With you have someone like Franz Wagner at the 3, and you need Kelly Oubre to match up with him and not going with the 3 guards. And what do you make of the Drummond not getting the start with the Adem Bona? Athleticism, keeping Drummond coming off the bench. What do you make of this choice here?
It's interesting. Drummond has always been a guy that I thought was better as a bench player when he can come in against those starters. He doesn't always make the same type of impact. You bring him in against more energy big, kind of a less polished guy. He might be able to throw them around a little bit better. Yeah, that's a big starting lineup. That is probably the biggest plausible starting lineup that the Sixers could put out there. Don't love the shooting. It's going to have to come from Tyrese and VJ for the most part there. But they're going to mix and match, right? And I like the idea. Grimes is he's probably going to be a bench guy for this team, but he's going to play starter minutes. But I think it's fine if you have him settle in as look, man, this is going to be part of your regular rotation. We're not going to have you play those first 6-7 minutes, but you're probably going to play the last 6-7 minutes if you're playing like you're capable of. I think that's fine. Just keep that going. Look, the Magic are a team. They're big. They're not that fast, honestly.
I agree with you there. They're not that fast, but they are a bigger lineup. And then when you go to the bench and you bring those other Bataze and Isaac comes in the game as well, that's a big group, man.
Look, and I think part of the issue here is that Bona did not play that well the other night. I thought he was jumpy, just was not making the impact. There's a reason that Nick Nurse went to Drum after only 3 minutes for Bona in the second half. He had seen enough, and he was like, you know what, let's give Drum a shot, and Drum played very well. So, yeah, by the way, Nick Nurse is super shorthanded tonight. It's a difficult task. I don't mind that starting lineup against the bigger Magic, but you're going to have to mix in some small ball in there as well.
Now, here's the thing. There are two parts of it that goes with it with the Bona over Drummond. Philly Trez says Bona runs better than Drummond. That's the only reason. But then you go to the other side where Martian says Bona can't rebound for bleep. So there's two things there. One can't run and keep up with the pace of the Magic, but they're not very fast. Sixers are, and then one can't rebound or doesn't rebound.
Look, they're backup centers, right? They are not perfect players.
No, they're not.
So no, I think it's fine, right? You play Drum off the bench. I think he'll bring some energy when he comes in there. Man, I cannot believe how well he played the other night. It's been a long time. I thought that was the guy that we thought we were going to get last year, where it's like Joel Embiid's best ever backup big man, and he just did not play well the entire season.
Yep. All right. So with that, let's get the Orlando Magic starters as well. Quickly, Bree, Orlando has, as we've talked about them in general with the Orlando Magic, where you do have Jalen Suggs, who is back. He was out for a while. He was out for the entire preseason, and Jalen Suggs just came back. So Suggs is back. He's in the starting lineup with Desmond Bane, their big trade, their big acquisition of the summer. He's at the 2 in the backcourt with Jalen Suggs, Wagner, Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. That rounds out your front court and your starting 5 for the Orlando Magic. So that's where they are right now. You know what, Bree? Don't even worry about it. I threw that one at you pretty quickly here. So that's my fault. That's not on Bree. Still hit the like button, everybody. Make sure you like it, even though I messed that one up. Like for Bree because I screwed that one up and threw that one at her. Hit the like button, everybody. We need that. All right, let's get to the Bet365 pregame picks segment, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. What do you have? Bree is 2 for 2. I'm 2 for 2. Rich said, I'm stepping in.
No. That's not how that went. Bree said I'm retiring on top. She just wasn't feeling it tonight. So I'm pinch
I wasn't
hitting.
feeling it, guys.
Feeling it? All right, Bree. Rich is back.
We can tell the truth. It's okay.
Rich is back.
I'm pinch hitting. Bree will look, tune into the show.
We'll share these.
Tune into the show. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. She'll be feeling it one other night.
But build up your numbers by following our picks here. Let's get to them, Bree. I had Tyrese Maxey 25 plus points. Andre Drummond 9.5 rebounds over. I don't care if he's coming off the bench or starting. He's rebounding the basketball. That's at a plus 165. And you went with Wagner. 25 plus points.
Yeah, he just feels like the best driver on that team and really good grab and go guy. Even if the Sixers are able to keep up with the Magic tonight, I just feel like Franz against this perimeter defense so far, he's just going to be in attack mode. And it just feels like he plays pretty well every time we see him against the Sixers. Yes, he does. Just a very good, very versatile forward. So, yeah, I'm feeling Franz 25 plus points.
So if you're feeling our picks and we look to remain perfect with our picks, make sure you go ahead and sign up using the code PHLY365. If you have not, you get $300 in bonus bets when you deposit 10, place a bet for 5. Those are our pregame picks segment right here, presented by Bet365, whatever the moment. All right, that's going to do it for us, everybody. We're out of here. We're back after the game, 10 minutes after the clock hits 0 across the board. Will the Sixers remain undefeated right now?
We'll see.
Taking on the Orlando Magic. We'll be back after the game. Make sure you're with us. Rich, Bree, I'm Devon. We'll check in with Kyle after the game as well. We'll see all of you. And don't forget, we have our Die Hard call-in voicemail segment that has been it's been a hit. It's been a hit. You're going to want to be a part of it. Make sure you look out for your message from Bree in the Die Hard community there in the Discord for you to get your video in. All right, so we'll see you after the game, everybody. Sixers, without Embiid and Barlow, will they get the win? We'll talk about it after the game right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show presented by Crooked T and Bet365. Enjoy the game.